In the grand saga of human history, few figures stand as towering beacons of peace and moral conviction. Among them is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, better known to the world as Mahatma Gandhi, a name that translates to Great Soul. Born in India and celebrated across the globe, Gandhi's revolutionary philosophy of nonviolence changed the trajectory of nations and inspired movements far beyond his homeland. This is the story of Mahatma Gandhi, the apostle of nonviolence. The Great Soul, how Mahatma Gandhi changed the world without raising a weapon. Gandhi's journey began on October 1369 in Porbandar, a small coastal town in present-day Gujarat, India. Raised in a deeply religious Hindu household, young Mohandas was profoundly influenced by his mother's unwavering piety and self-discipline. Though unremarkable in his early academic pursuits, the seeds of greatness were already taking root. His family's values of truth, duty, and humility would serve as the foundation for the philosophy he would later champion. In 1888, at the age of 19, Gandhi embarked on a transformative journey to London to study law. Immersed in a new cultural landscape, he grappled with questions of identity and morality. It was during these formative years that Gandhi encountered the Bhagavad Gita, an ancient Hindu scripture that profoundly shaped his worldview. Its teachings of selfless action and devotion to truth resonated deeply, planting the seeds for his philosophy of ahimsa, non-violence. But the real crucible of Gandhi's transformation came not in India or England, but in South Africa. In 1893, while working as a legal representative for an Indian merchant, Gandhi experienced the sting of racial discrimination firsthand. A pivotal moment occurred when he was ejected from a first-class train compartment despite holding a valid ticket. This moment of humiliation ignited a spark of defiance in Gandhi. Over the next 2 decades, Gandhi became a leader of the Indian community in South Africa, championing their rights against racial injustice. He developed Satyagraha, or truth force, a philosophy of resistance that emphasized nonviolent protest as a powerful tool against oppression. Through organized boycotts, marches, and civil disobedience, Gandhi demonstrated that moral courage could outweigh physical force. In 1915, Gandhi returned to a homeland brimming with discontent under British colonial rule. The oppressive policies of the British Raj had driven millions into poverty, and the call for independence was growing louder. Gandhi's reputation preceded him, and he quickly emerged as a leader of the Indian National Congress. His approach was unorthodox, emphasizing not violent rebellion, but peaceful resistance. One of Gandhi's earliest and most significant campaigns was the Champaran Satyagraha in 1917. Poor farmers in the Champaran district were forced to grow indigo under exploitative conditions. Gandhi's intervention, through non-violent protests and negotiations, led to reforms that alleviated the farmers' suffering. This success solidified his role as a champion of the oppressed and a master of peaceful resistance. Perhaps Gandhi's most iconic act of defiance was the Salt March of 1930. the British monopoly on salt production and taxation struck at the heart of India's poorest citizens. In a stunning act of civil disobedience, Gandhi led a 240-mile march to the Arabian Sea, where he symbolically harvested salt from the shore. Thousands joined him, their unity shaking the foundations of British authority. This single act of resistance became a global symbol of the fight against tyranny. Gandhi's philosophy of ahimsa was not just a political strategy, it was a way of life. He believed that true strength lay in self-purification, discipline, and unwavering commitment to truth. He renounced material comforts, adopted a simple lifestyle, and practiced fasting as a means of protest and self-purification. These acts were not just symbolic, they were tools for awakening the conscience of both oppressors and the oppressed. Yet Gandhi's journey was not without challenges. His insistence on non-violence and unity often put him at odds with more radical factions of the independence movement. The growing tensions between Hindus and Muslims also tested his dream of a united India. Despite his best efforts to foster communal harmony, the partition of India in 1947, creating the separate nations of India and Pakistan, brought immense bloodshed and suffering. On August 15, 1947, India finally achieved its independence, marking the culmination of decades of struggle. For Gandhi, however, the moment was bittersweet. The communal violence that erupted during partition deeply grieved him, and he spent his final months tirelessly working for peace. His fasts and public appeals saved countless lives, but they also made him a target for those who opposed his vision of unity. On January 30, 1948, Gandhi was assassinated by Nathuram Godse, a Hindu nationalist who blamed him for what he saw as undue concessions to Muslims. The world mourned the loss of a man who had embodied the principles of peace and justice. Albert Einstein famously said of Gandhi, "Generations to come will scarce believe that such a one as this ever in flesh and blood walked upon this earth." Gandhi's influence extended far beyond India's borders. His philosophy of non-violent resistance inspired civil rights movements around the globe. Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and countless others drew from Gandhi's teachings, proving that his message was universal and timeless. Today, Gandhi is remembered as the father of modern India and a global symbol of peace. His life was a testament to the power of moral conviction, showing that even the mightiest empires could be toppled without raising a single weapon. Gandhi taught us that lasting change begins within, that justice is rooted in compassion, and that the path to freedom is paved with courage and love. In a world still rife with conflict and inequality, Gandhi's ideals remain as relevant as ever. He showed us that non-violence is not passive. It is a force of immense strength. Through his example, we are reminded that the greatest revolutions begin with the simplest truths. That love conquers hate, that humility overcomes arrogance, and that peace is the ultimate triumph. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.